What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and
Hey, it's me D. How you guys doing? And I am young, fresh, and new.
see, you got it.
I did right, right. Take one, and it's a
Once again, thanks to Josiah for that music and everything about it. Thank him for all of that because he's like the creative force behind my channel. I just come up with the ideas and he bring them out. So, with that being said, we're here with New York-based YouTuber. It's me, D. I am so wanting to call him by his real name, and I'm not gonna do it. However, this is another episode of Young, Fresh, and New, and I have him here. And he was one of. I had a list of people, and I knew I had to pick 10, and he was one of the main people that I wanted for different reasons, and he knows some of the reasons. However,
do.
yes, you do. But anyways, we're about to go ahead and get into it. If you've been watching me for a while, you've seen him on my platform a few times before. He hasn't been on here many times, but he's been on here before. On my lives, I've watched one of my lives from 2020. You was up there, and it was a bunch of chaos going on that particular
Oh,
live.
I think I remember
You,
exactly what that
you were
was.
up here laughing, and I was just like, Anyway, but with that being said, though, um, by you being a YouTuber, what made you want to start your YouTube channel?
Ooh, it's actually two stories. Picture it, Sicily, 1982. I'm just playing. Um, um, honestly, me, I'm very into the arts and all of that. So one of my homegirls I used to dance with, she says, "You're very funny. You should be on social media." And back then I was like, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not being on the Snapchats and all of that stuff." And she said, "Do it. You never know who you may help out." And that always resonated in my mind. This is probably like, I want to say maybe 20, between 2015, 2016, but she will always tell me every year this.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I started doing it in 2020, I was actually in a bad space, very much depressed, very much upset. Um, did not see myself in the area that I wanted to be. So I started doing YouTube as something therapeutic for myself. And it actually did calm down my nerves and my anxiety and depression. But then I also realized I'm kind of funny. I'm kind of silly, but in a good
Kind
way.
of,
And
kind
I
of.
realized people actually liked it, so I
Where
continued.
you're not kind of funny, you are funny. I actually been watching.
I think I'm a lame at times.
But when I say that about myself, you don't want me to say it about myself. But here you go saying you're lying and you're
I know.
not. Okay, so we got into why you started YouTube. As a matter of fact,
Mhm.
your story sounds very similar to mine because when I first started my YouTube channel, which was in
Mm.
2010, I was also depressed. I was 21. I was a college dropout. I was in a relationship with some down low dude with a cocked eye who carried guns, and he was terrible to me. And it was awful. And I came across in my videos very angry because I definitely was angry. It was so much going on. I had just really came out to my family. It was a whole lot going on. It was like a dark time, and that's why I don't like looking at those older videos, because first of all, I looked a mess. You could tell I was going through it because I looked a hot mess, and on top of that, it was terrible. So we kind of have similar stories. Were there people that you tuned into on YouTube before you started your own YouTube channel?
Oh my God, yes. Actually, my YouTube channel is over 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I just never used it. Like I
Yeah.
created it and everything, but I never used it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my biggest influence, and shout out to them, Kid Fury,
Oh,
when
I
he was
love
on
him.
YouTube, doing Furious Thoughts in Florida with that orange wall,
Yes.
he has gotten me through so many things because I watch him and I'm like, he's saying exactly the stuff that I'm thinking. I'm like, this is not just me. Also, definitely B Scott,
Oh yeah.
being a queer person of color, um being authentically themselves.
One of the first to really
One
do
of the
it.
first. I would have said this person if they weren't in such a scandal, and I've actually met them. Should I reveal?
That's
Should
up
I
to
say her the
you.
name? I used to love Todrick Hall.
Okay.
I used to, for the
Mhm.
grind and the hustle and the imagination. Like I saw like a lot of things that he thinks about. I'm like, oh my god, that's so similar to me. But we all know, we're not going to talk about that. But we all know
Yeah, it's
what
okay.
he's
I mean, I'm
dealing with
my
right
content
now.
creator. There's certain content creators that I call my problematic faves that are caught up in scandal, and I don't necessarily agree with what they do. I bring it up all the time, so it's nothing wrong with it. So, in addition to you tuning in to them on
Mhm.
YouTube, was there any YouTubers that inspired you to do your YouTube channel?
Again, Kid Fury is a big one. Um, Zachary Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
I love Zachary Campbell. As you guys know, I love a lot of music. Um, I'm doing a little segment with the Darren Green Show, amazing YouTuber himself, on Mondays called Music Maker Mondays. Quick little plug-in. Coo, 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 coo. But I've always been a lover of music, so I've always wanted to model my channel the way how Kids Fury used to do his hot topics, as well as Zachary Campbell, the way how he used to react and review to like a lot of music and music videos.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people too. I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, in a way, Todrick Hall, like the way how I like to film, like when I do dance videos and stuff, I do like to film and be very imaginative. So basically the same people that I spoke about earlier, but definitely Zachary Campbell. Oh, also, um Spill It Boy TV.
Oh my God, I love
Love
him.
he's such a great narrator.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's one of the big ones too. And this person, this person too. She's not. I like her the way how she. Now we're talking about people that narrate. I love how Bonnie Blue speaks.
yeah.
It just caps you in. Her and Spiller Boy. I'm like, oh my god, I feel like someone's telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
I love Spiller Boy TV, and honestly, a little bit of Really B,
Your
a little
auntie
bit of her, my auntie, even though she worked my nerves, but.
works mine too.
I know, but I love her. She be acting like she don't remember me. I said it.
That's her all day. That's
That's
her.
her, but she is busy and hope she gets well soon. But definitely, like, quick recap of the people that inspire me to do this: Spiller Boy TV, Kid Fury, Todrick Hall before he got turned into Sunken Space. So those people, and Lily Singh. I don't know if you ever seen her before. She's actually pretty funny.
Who is it again?
Lily Singh. She had a show on NBC before COVID.
Oh wow, I didn't know. I
But
never heard of
she,
them
but
before.
YouTube actually makes a big platform for people. But yeah,
Okay, so as a smaller content creator, what would you say have been your struggles as a smaller creator?
ooh, first off, let me smack the back of my head real quick because this is my issue. Consistency, and I won't say this is. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but work is definitely a big um issue of that. You know,
Mhm.
doing a 9 to 5. Everybody would love to work for themselves. I personally, that's the goal for me, to definitely work for myself and to own businesses and different things and whatnot. But as of right now, I can't. So a big issue is work, and because I work in a borough that I don't drive, by the way. I work in a borough where I have to travel 2 hours to my job and 2 hours back home. So by the time I get home, sometimes I'm tired. I'm tired. So, and the way how I like to upload my videos, I love to do a lot of editing. And to be honest, editing can take up to 2 to 5 hours.
Yes.
Definitely 2 to 5 hours. Because I want to include jokes. I want to include clips of movies and songs and all of this. I like to do, I'm very, if you guys have not realized, I'm very crazy and I like to be animated and whatever. I like to do a production. I like to do everything 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main struggles. Also, when nobody really doesn't know who you are, it can be a task to push your name out there. And I do like asking for help, and I know it's there, but at the same time, I can't, like, if I was to ask you, I can't keep depending on you to do it for me. I have to do it myself. Even if you put it out there, it's for the people to really enjoy and to like you. But I think it's really consistency that's key, that allows you to be a content creator, to be a consistent content creator, stuff like that.
Well, I asked this to the person that I did this with before you, and
Hmm.
I gave her a little bit of sound advice, and I feel like because we have a personal relationship, I feel like I can say this, and I don't know, I feel like I've said this before, I'm not sure, but being that you are like a smaller content creator and your goal is to not work and rather do you rather do this? Would you rather do this full time?
I would. Well, not just YouTube itself, anything that allows me to be who I am, who I
Yeah.
want to be.
So you rather get paid for who you are versus
Yes,
yeah.
pushing
Okay, so
paper
the thing
backstage and shit.
yeah. So the thing that I'm saying is because I asked this question because um when I still feel like I'm a smaller content creator, but that's go figure. But when I was coming up, my problem was consistency too. My problem was consistency. My problem was camera quality and all that. So when my camera quality improved, okay, that was one thing, but the consistency was still not there. And a lot of the times I would allow my job, I would allow things that's going on in my life prevent me from filming videos. And when you finally come out, as much as your audience love you, it's always somebody else that's doing the same thing that you're doing, and they can easily go to them for it. Because if you're not, and I'm not saying it like a competitive type of thing, but if you got somebody that's doing the same thing that I'm doing and they're pushing it out consistently, why sit here and wait on me to put it out when somebody else is already doing it? So you have to be consistent. And that's one thing that I mastered at this point because even though
Ooh, you a master.
I mean, listen, y'all know I put out 3 and 4 videos a day.
Child, when do you go to bed?
Well, you are one of the people that do be getting on me about not resting.
Hmm.
You do. So you know, I'm able to, like, my goal is to put out at least one video a day. I try to put out 2 or 3, but my goal is at least one so they can have something to watch every day. And not to mention, I make sure that the things that I talk about are things that I actually want to talk about and care about, because you don't want to do something
Yes.
that you only talking about or doing just so you can get views. It's not authentic and it's not
Yes.
real. You have to do something that you really care about doing, or that you like to talk about. I like reality TV. I like pop culture. I like gossip. Why not talk about that? I'm not going to talk about politics because I don't really care about it. I go vote when I'm supposed to. I do my job and do my part on there, but I don't want to do no channel talking about that. Like, and outside of the gossip, I talk about my own personal struggles with mental health. For, well, we have so I talk about my personal stuff because it may help somebody else. You never know who you touch with some things that you open up about. So when you're coming up, you do have the consistency is really the key, which you have been a little bit more consistent than you have been in the past. I see you putting out more videos, and whenever I see them, I try to share them. So you are more
And thank
consistent.
you. I definitely appreciate that.
Of course, anything is good. Um, and not only. is the consistency another thing, but also being authentic, because sometimes people can tell when you're putting on a front and putting on a facade for people. Nobody wants
Mhm.
nobody to be fake. We want you to be yourself. So long as you're doing that, you're good. So that's how I feel about it. And I'm really glad to see that you're actually, you know, being more consistent and putting out the content that you want
Thank
to
you.
put out.
Thank you. Thank you.
So so you had a rebuttal for this?
I actually did. And there was beginning of this year, and I think I told you this too. Beginning of this year, I didn't post anything on whether it was Instagram, YouTube, or anything for 5 months because I was purging myself from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was depressed. I was one of those at the time. Now, not so much. I was one of those people looking at the numbers, looking at the views, looking at the likes, and it kind of got to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna just take a back seat, concentrate on me, and then come back. And sometimes I don't even look at the numbers until I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope.
That's
I'm
another
in the
thing.
cave.
I'm glad you brought that up. Sometimes looking at numbers will fuck with your mind. And a lot of the times when we're on the come up, we have to realize that it's not going to happen overnight. And sometimes we look at other people who literally just started right behind you, and they
They
move really quickly,
skyrocket up.
and you wonder why you're not doing it, and you start downing yourself. Because I know that was a part of my issue when I was coming up, and I was
Mm,
too focused on the people that came up with me, and how, because the people that I came up with are some of the people you named, like Bundy Blue, or Spillet Boy TV. I came up with him. I came up with Forest Rocks. I came up with the Scorpion Show. I came up with those people,
mhm.
and all of them had, left me in the dust. Like, it's like we were running in a race and everybody left me behind, but it was my own fault because I wasn't consistent. It was my own fault because I
Yeah.
really wasn't paying attention to what I needed to, and it was my own fault that I had every excuse in the world not to really do what I needed to do to make sure I grew my channel. And like I said on the last one that I did, I didn't really start popping off until 2 years ago when you first found out who I was, when you first started speaking to each other. And of course, it's much different than it was 2 years ago. Of course it is, but but I didn't start popping off until 2 years ago. So, and how long you been doing it? What
So,
did you start it when I first started speaking to you, which is 2020?
yes, it was like right before COVID, like a few months before COVID, I started doing this.
Okay, so you're still new. So you got to give it time, because I know that when I first started, the first 2 years was a drag. I thought I was not going anywhere. The first 2 years was a drag. But I would say around, because I started in October 2010, like around 2013, that's when I finally started to pick up. And then sometimes when you pick up, you slow down sometimes. And then when you slow down, you'll pick back up again. So the numbers thing is a thing that mind fucks you. So don't allow it to mind fuck you. Just keep putting out your content, and you never know what your breakthrough video might be. Because I didn't know what mine was, and I had several breakthrough videos. So you'll
Mhm.
never know what it is. So just keep on producing content, and don't allow the numbers to affect you, because that will affect you and it will fuck with your mind. I'm glad you said that. So as for the last question, if a
Mhm.
person is watching this right now and they've never seen you before, why should they tune into your YouTube channel?
Why should they tune into my YouTube channel? Hmm. Because, okay, let me say it this way. I realize with some YouTubers, not even just YouTubers, content creators, even people that I dance with, they do things one way. They do things like one way where it's like, this is who they are. They're not coming out of this box. They're just giving it one way. They're great at it, but that's all they give. With me, I'm very diverse. You'll get a review one day. You'll get a dance video another day. You'll get an interview with an upcoming like singer or rapper. I live in New York, so I meet them all the time. You'll get
Mm-hmm.
a vlog of me going to brunch. It's like very sporadic, but it's fun. It's like you never know what to expect. It's like Russian roulette when it comes to me. As someone that I love, like I said, I like to dabble in different things. Very artistic. Um, yeah, so you'll never know what you may get.
Well, I know you better than all these people that's watching.
Ooh, do you?
But anyways, this was a first of all. Oh, I gotta stop myself because I'm so used to calling you by your name. Um, First of all, thank you so much for doing this with
Oh
me.
my
I
God,
really
thank
appreciate it.
you.
I,
I'm just happy to be here.
I know
It's
you are.
uh, it's a mess.
But thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. For those of you that are tuning in, please subscribe to him. His channel is It's Me D. Please do that. You know, he like he said, he's very versatile. He does a multitude of things on his channel, and you should give him a chance, you know. And thank you guys for watching. This was another episode of Young, Fresh, and New, and we'll see you guys later for the next one. Bye y'all.